peace and harmony of all creation. Eternal light that shines on all creation, and with all creation, and in all creation. In this moment of love, this moment of truth, this moment of light, accept into your heart that nothing else exists. That as the perception of a journey is walked and will be walked by every beloved, as you walk, letting the illusion of separation fall away, fall to the wayside, with no regrets, with no sorrow, with no fear. Letting the illusion fall away. And with a glad, happy heart, not looking back, with longing for the past, but the willingness that because the future is in the hands of God, all unfolds in harmony and perfection. Every moment of every day, the Spirit of Love uses time, uses the day for those who are willing to surrender and who surrender to the Spirit of Love. How the day is used and are willing to just observe the unfolding, to watch as grace moves and as blessings radiate in every moment, having no judgment or opinions about the form that the Holy Spirit uses for the transformation of your heart. Every moment, every day, love is present. And in the quietness, the willingness to be shown the way, the heart begins to accept and trust the journey of love. As the Spirit of Love will constantly and happily remind you, if you will let go, things would be so much easier. If you would let go and trust and empty the mind of the past, happiness for the journey materializes. A happy journey from a happy learner for a happy day. In deep gratitude, the heart sings for the blessings of everyone's remembering. The happy heart that begins to release all concepts of a separate self. letting go with trust and faith, surrendering all pretense of trying to protect and defend and control outcomes of all situations, and trusting that the learning is there. The learning of the moment to accept more deeply every moment that only love exists. The willingness to see through the heart. The willingness to bless every moment and every beloved. The willingness to surrender all perceptions of judgments from the past and accept that this is the schoolroom of love. This is the opportunity to remember. This is the grace and blessings of true love. As the heart says yes, light appears, freed from the concepts of knowing, freed from the veil of the belief of limitation and separation, freed from the past. No longer hidden because the thoughts of limitation have been surrendered. All of humanity has a grateful heart for those beloveds who are willing to walk the way of love. Even for beloveds who aren't aware that there is another way. Even the beloveds who have believed so deeply in the past and the belief of separation and war and lack. In the depth of the heart, everyone is grateful. In the depth of the heart, everyone heals in your remembering. The journey of love is simple, uncomplicated. Let go of what you think you know and come empty. Find the willingness within to offer love without conditions, without looking to get. And trust that you are always safe and held in the light of God. Simple. And in this moment, breathing deeply and fully with the breath of love. And where you forgot to breathe today, forgive yourself and take that leap of faith to breathe. The mind would be filled with opinions of, I don't like to breathe. I don't like to push from my controlled place. But love is calling you to take that yes into your heart and refuse to let the control of the past, of what you thought you could control, what you thought you knew, and simply breathe deeply and fully in the name of God, in the glory of God, breathing and joining in love. Can you hear your breath? Can you feel your breath rise into the heart, filling the heart space with light by choice? Breathing. And as you breathe out, that divine willingness to surrender what you thought you knew. Breathing. And as you breathe in that yes, you begin to feel the connection. You begin to feel the divine rhythm of love, of harmony, of joy. And you may even have a thought that says, why was I so stingy this whole day with my breath? Why did I revert back to fear and not breathing when I had the opportunity all day to breathe in the name of the light, in the name of oneness, in the name of peace? I can choose to breathe. I can choose to remember through my breath that all is one in union. Breathing in the blessings of the Divine Mother and breathing out the limitations of the past. And through divine breath, through sacred breath, recognizing just in my breath I have made a decision to join in love. Just in my breath I have made a choice to let go and join in holy union and not try to stay in separation. Breathing, allowing, affirming, and feeling as the breath becomes stronger and fuller, how the heart begins to come forward, open, stepping out of its belief of being in control of protection and defense, and affirming in the middle of the heart, there is nothing to defend. In my defenselessness, the light of truth reveals itself. Breathing. Refusing to accept the fear of breathing. Refusing to accept the separation that's held in not breathing. breathing deeply. In this moment, continuing to breathe, and in this breath of love, affirming, here in the infinite circle of love, we are breathing in the union of oneness. Let me breathe with every beloved. Let me join in that holy breath, no longer being able to stay in separate thoughts, separate experiences, separate identities. Breathing, allowing. There is only one presence here. It is the light of God, the life force of God. And within the holy breath, there is the recognition of that life force. It awakens the life force within, that there is a purpose while being in a body, that your purpose is to remember God. Remembering the totality and the wholeness of creation with every breath. Breathing and affirming. This sanctuary is filled with love. And as I breathe deeply and fully, I say yes to that love. And as I breathe out, I relinquish all the concepts of separation. Breathing and affirming this universe is all love. Nothing else exists. One heart, breathing, beating as one. Breathing. In this moment of holy breath, surrendering the nervous system that's been held so tightly in all these past lives, surrendering the nervous system into the hands of God to be transformed into peace and light. And breathing, and surrendering the emotional body into the hands of God, no longer willing to have the emotional body ruled by the ego mind, filled with fear and caution, suspicion, opinions, anger, justification, all surrendered, emptied in the hands of God. Breathing. And be willing for the energy bodies, the emotional body, to be filled with the light of transformation, wanting only to express harmony and joy, peace and joy, ease and charity, kindness, all coming and expressing through the emotional body. And surrendering the body to be used only for love. Surrendering the body of its old identity of separation. Surrendering the body onto the altar of love to be used by Spirit. The yes of love. The yes of truth. The yes of peace. Allowing. Elevate all thoughts to God, to the brilliance of God, to the light of God, to the truth of God, to the peace of God. Opening the heart and remembering the brilliance of creation, willing to have only thoughts of love, to willing to have only the spirit of love leading the way. The brilliance of the firmament is a light, and that light is shining here in every moment. Let me open the heart. I ask for healing of the heart and to invigorate the mind into truth, into light, and to surrender all beliefs of limitation and separation. Here I am called to sing of the truth of love, to sing of ease and peace, recognizing and praising all divine beings as the bringers of light and the willingness to follow these divine beings. In every moment, I say yes. Elevei o pensamento, Deus lá nas alturas, para reconhecer o brilho da formosura, o brilho da formosura, é uma luz de alento que limpa meu coração e vigora meu pensamento. Aqui eu vou contando que a minha lida essa viva rejuramidam e a rainha da floresta. Praise, 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 praise for all divine beings that serve love's remembering. Breathing in that divine truth. Breathing in the yes to empty the mind and lift the mind out of the belief of separation, as the heart continues to say yes, consciously, every moment, yes. One minute to midnight, and the sky is turning black. 1 minute to midnight, and there's no turning back. I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home to stay. 1 minute to midnight, and my train is pulling in. 1 minute to midnight, as I see my life begin. Love calls me home, love calls me home, love calls me home for good. 1 minute to midnight, and the bells begin to chime. 1 minute to midnight, and they tell me that it's time to turn toward the light, turn toward the light, turn toward the light of my home. 1 minute to midnight as I bandage up my heart. 1 minute to midnight as I let the healing start. I will receive, I will receive, I will receive my welcome home. Receive your welcome home as you let go of what you think you know. Emptying, gladly breathing, gladly accepting, gladly recognizing. As I breathe, I'm coming home with every breath. God fills my lungs. With every breath, the Blessed Mother fills my lungs and my heart and is used as the sails of a ship to move forward into love. Every moment, love calls me home. Lie around and get zonked out. If we are devoted, it would have been enough that just one great prophet would have to make a personal appearance on earth. He or she probably could have easily fixed some important things forever. Written a book that really gave us the total lowdown, and that no right-wing fanatic dare edit. God in human form, as some called the Avatar or world teacher, seemingly could have easily shown us all some tasty herb cocktails that could cure any illness humans would ever conjure up. But looks like it does not work that way. And what of us mules who like the harness? What would the workhorses in the world do without some imaginary cause or situation we felt needed to be championed or scotch-taped and put back together? Heaven forbid anyone might become happy doing basically nothing. Where would all the knowing, the doing, the fretting, the planning go? Heaven forbid everyone might become happy doing basically nothing except to lie around and get zonked out on the wonder of our being. That is the ease and the grace of remembering. The dilemma seems to be that there is a perception of dilemma. And that keeps everyone very busy. In the stillness, you hear the voice of love. In the quiet, God speaks in the quiet voice. But when you have an imaginary cause or a situation, what the ego is saying is, don't bother me, I'm busy with what I think I know. I have things to fix and control and know. What is the terror of not knowing? What is the terror that has been bought the hoax of the ego that has convinced humanity that to be without knowing is to be threatened. The hoax has to be let go. If we were devoted, truly, truly devoted to remembering what happened in a nanosecond, don't bet on your devotion to be enough. Always say, I'm willing to devote more. I'm willing to expand more. I'm willing to leap more. I'm willing to breathe more. I'm willing to trust more. I'm willing. Lead the way. And give me the strength and the courage to follow. If we were devoted, it would have been enough that just one great prophet would have come to make a personal appearance on earth. But beloved masters keep showing up because the resistance to love keeps turning off the lights in your awareness, the distractions. They just keep showing up. But it's really not to believe them anymore. And what of us mules who like the harness? Now, no one would say, oh, I really like this harness, and yet you keep choosing the harness. The choice of the harness has to be seen for what it is. To join in love is to see through the shenanigans of the distractions and the games that the ego keeps playing to keep using fear as a weapon to keep you in line, to keep you in a harness of your own making. It's a game that will end, because it's guaranteed it will end. But to trust enough that you can make that leap of letting go of what you think you have control over, of what you like, what you don't like, all of that's all about control. It wasn't developed in the name of control. It was developed in the name of discernment. It was developed in the name of, this makes me a unique individual that has a particular idea of how things should be. But underneath, what every beloved begins to see in the journey of love is that, oh, no, I made these elements of likes and dislikes for one singular purpose: to hold the belief within it that I am safe, that I will judge everything that comes into my scope of my life and I will judge it with approval or disapproval, and I will react to that with approval or disapproval, and I will continue to think that I'm staying in control, except it's not seen as a harness, and you're not seen as a mule. The more in this world, the more opinions you have, the more you believe you're elevated in this world. That this means intelligence, or this means discernment. But it doesn't. It means fear. It means terror of God, terror of the past that you believe that you were right about, which is another part of being in control. I was right. But now it's time to let it all go and to see it for what it is. And what of us mules who like the harness? Because it is about liking the harness without even recognizing it's a harness. When you build your own identity and your own story and your own ways of managing your life, you believe you're building a kingdom. You believe you're actually building a real kingdom that you are the king of or the queen of. But in actuality, you're building a prison. And after you're done building and filling it with distractions and shiny objects to make you believe it's a kingdom, it becomes harder and harder to breathe in that tiny space. You feel the walls closing in. You feel the lack of breath, that you have forgotten the freedom of the totality of the universe that you are one with in every moment. And that's why the breath becomes so limited. The breath becomes limited and shallow and refusing to breathe deeply because you have learned to stay in that tightened space that says, I have to protect and defend. I have to control. And the one place that I can really control is how I breathe. I can breathe shallow, I can breathe as little as possible, and I will stay in control of my kingdom. This is the harness. This is the shackles of slavery. The belief that this is giving you control. But in actuality, it's the prison of limitation and separation that you've made up. It's not real. You're dancing in an illusion that has no truth to it, but it's as real to you as the nightmares in the middle of the night that make your heart beat faster and make you sweat and make you fear for your life. It's all the same. So it's time to let go of the harness. What would the workhorses in this world do without some imaginary cause? An imaginary cause to focus on. There is nothing that the ego loves more than when you believe that there is a problem. The problems are what keep the ego's life intact, even though that ego is, again, imaginary, but for you it becomes totally real. And to keep finding problems, to keep finding reasons not to breathe, to be as tight as possible, as controlled as possible, as fearful as possible, and protected as possible. And in the belief of levels and degrees, we even assign other beloveds the belief that they are more fearful than we are, that they're a bigger mess than we are. And all of this is part of the game, so that we don't look at the prison that we've made, so that we don't look at the walls that are closing in. But the walls are only closing in your own mind. There are no walls really except in your own mind. But that is enough to keep you devoted to separation. When God is calling you, love is calling you to bring that willingness of devotion to God. Show me the way in every moment. The great prophet probably could have easily fixed some important things forever. Written a book that really gave us the total lowdown that no one would edit. All the teachings that have been given are the total lowdown. It's just living them. That's the deep devotion. The willingness to drop the imagined life for the real life of love. To surrender to God's will of what would be most helpful. What would be most helpful in every moment of every day? Show me the way, and I will follow. I will follow. Can you accept that pain is illusion? And never give it another hello? Never give it another allegiance? To truly accept that all of what you've held from the past has absolutely no, not only value, but has no power, except the power that you are giving it. And when you give pain and fear power, you're turning away from the light. You're being dazzled by what you think you know. There's no truth in it. No truth at all. Can you accept that joy is reality? That joy is here right now, and it has nothing to do with your thoughts except the absence of them, and that joy is actually living in your heart, covered up by the perception of knowing. The joy is there because you are that joy. The joy isn't missing. The joy is not something that you will get and develop and receive as a reward for healing. All that is being healed is what you've made up, and the joy is there already. It's just not in your awareness because your knowing closes the door to it. But that's the leap of faith. That is really the leap of faith. Can you accept that it is up to you to choose harmony and joy or the illusion of pain and suffering? It is up to you to choose, not to figure it out, not to assess whether this is true or not, but to accept. I can choose joy. I can choose peace instead of what I'm believing in the moment when there is pain or suffering or any kind of disturbance, because all disturbance is pain and suffering. And that you have that choice. You have the power of that choice that's already there within you. You just haven't tapped into it and recognized it in its full potential. To choose joy, to choose harmony, is to reject what you think you know from the past. It isn't knowing harmony and joy like an intellectual idea. It's embracing it and letting it out of its cage of your heart by the willingness to open your heart and live in your heart and offer love, blessings. It's an easy road. You've been convinced that it's difficult because it seems easier to chatter about what you know. More familiar. Be grateful if you have not memorized much. Be grateful if you had amnesia and couldn't remember the past. Be grateful that your habits that you developed in the wanting of protection, that they aren't as strong as they once were. Be grateful that there's another way and that you weren't right about the past. It is up to you to choose harmony and joy or the illusion of pain and suffering. To choose one is to let the other go. You can't hold both at the same time. You can't choose joy and harmony and hold on to the illusion of pain and suffering. Just in one moment of a grateful heart, open to the gratitude of the moment, and pain and illusion disappear. Can you sustain it? You can if you choose to. And then it becomes, do you want to? Because when you don't choose harmony and joy, it is because you don't want to. It isn't because you're incapacitated to it. It's because you actually are making a choice. That's why in the spiritual healing, it's important to recognize, what do I truly want? Because I'm choosing something. Am I choosing to breathe? Am I choosing to pay attention to the guidance that will always be there for me? Will I listen? What is my choice? It's not looking for the magic the magic pill. It's not looking for the avatar, the master, who could have easily shown us some tasty herb cocktails that would make the past disappear. That can't happen because it doesn't work that way. Why doesn't it work that way? Because you made up the illusion that you carry. You made it up, and only you can be willing to let it go. And moment to moment, nothing is happening to you that is coming from the outside. Nothing is happening to you. This, the mind cannot in any way understand or anything. It's just an acceptance. Nothing is happening to you from the outside. But can you accept that only the choice of joy and harmony will bring you to peace? This is a choice, to want to see it through love. When you ask to see it through love, you've already made a decision. When you ask to see it differently than what you think you know, you've already made the decision to join the light of God and receive the grace and the blessings of that transformation, of having your vision open to the truth. It is so powerful that it is mind-boggling, because it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind. I could choose peace instead of what I think I see now. And in that moment, if I choose to see it differently, I will see it differently. I will invoke the miracle. I will invoke that this cannot be the truth. If this is pain and suffering, it cannot be the truth. I have to be making something up, just straight out. It's not a condemnation. It's an alignment that is the grace of stepping out of the mind that is not your friend. The mind of the ego is not your friend. The mind of the past is not your friend. It has convinced you that it's great to be a mule with a harness around your neck and struggle and have problems and see life through problems, when I want to see this differently. I choose. It's what I want to see in the truth of love. I want to serve love. I want to walk with love. I want to have my heart opened. I want to be free. This is what I truly want. And in that, it is given to you because you have asked for truth. When you ask for truth, then it's the relaxation and the trusting that how this unfolds, you are not going to be in charge of. It's trusting that the divine grace of God is well aware of how to move through this third dimension and transform your existence. That's why it's so essential in the journey to surrender all the beliefs of knowing of right and wrong and good and bad, and I like this and I don't like this, this is hard, this is easy, this is, all of that is, those are all the restrictions that impede the flow of healing. Healing occurs in the letting go. What does letting go mean? Letting go is, I don't know anything. To let go of the identity, the habits, the way of being in this imprisonment, and to really accept, I will be taken. The avatar, the prophet, the master, the guide, is indeed giving you everything that you need, is indeed illuminating everything in every moment. Are you willing to accept it? Or do you react to the corrections that come, whether it's in teachings or whether it's in a moment of words or however it is? Do you react and say, oh, well, no, I don't like that part. I want it to look like this. And in that way, unconsciously, you're playing a game with the teachings of healings and saying, oh, I'll be the decider of what I want on the buffet table of healing. But it doesn't work that way, because the essential element of healing is surrender. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely, that's at the core of remembering, is the surrender of what's made up. You can't hold on to it in one hand and then ask for healing with the other. It has to be let go. Because if you're asking for healing and you're not willing to let go of what you made up and the belief in pain and suffering, there, love can't enter. Love can't interfere with your refusal to let go. And can you trust that, of course, everything will unfold in perfect harmony if I can let go? What I think I know binds me to illusion. What I think I know binds you to illusion. That's all that it's doing. It's like a rope that's tied around your whole body system and everything with what you think you know. It isn't your friend. Not at all. Never has been. And it's never given you what you were really looking for, which is peace and harmony. Couldn't at all. The distraction of knowing is the everyday journey of love. To not be fooled by the distractions of knowing. The reactions, the distractions, it's all the same. But just to keep coming back to that simple place of lead the way. I don't know anything. I don't know how to look on this. I do not know what anything including this means. How many times a day are you in that heart prayer? I do not know what this or anything means. That's the key. This moment, do you think you know what this moment means? No, it's not possible. There's nothing to know. There's a receiving. There's an accepting of this moment, of being here in the stillness of love and receiving everything. But all day long, you have this exquisite gift of accepting, I do not know what anything including this means, and I don't know how to respond to it. How could I know how to respond to something when I don't know what it means? So there is always your clue that if I believe I have a response to something, if I'm responding to something with an opinion, with an idea of what I think I know it is, it's because I believe I think I know what it means to begin with. Are you willing to take that leap of faith that you don't know how to respond to it? Where is the problem with stopping and actually, with every moment, this is part of slowing down. The part of slowing down is, I don't know how to respond to this. I'll get back to you. All day long you could be saying, I'll get back to you about that. I'll get back to you. I don't know. Do you see that as a threat to your identity? That you believe that you need the answer right then and there because it makes you feel safe, and it also gives you an image of somebody who's in control or in the know? Someone that's efficient, someone that's smart, whatever it is that you think it implies. I can't tell you how many times in healing I would be taken for weeks and weeks into, I don't know, weeks and weeks, I don't know. I'll let you know when I am clear of what is most helpful. I don't know. And the fear that would come up, that would say, oh my God, I'm going to be identified as somebody really stupid. I'm going to be identified as somebody who's losing their mind. Yes, I probably will be. And in actuality, I was. Someone losing their mind. Thank God. Thank God. Did the other opinions that I conjured up in that fear of being seen without a really strong, good, and together facade, that I would be found out? I was a fake. I was a fake. Everything that I had made up about my identity was a fake. It had to be. I'd made it up out of fear and illusions of separation and an idea of protection and defense and, oh, this will be a good one. I'll make this facade up and I'll keep adding to it like bracelets on my arm. Here's one more. Here's another identity. Here's another identity. Here, I'll put these earrings on. That's another identity. Everything's an identity. Everything. I didn't know anything. And I was being found out. And I didn't care. The fear came up. The fear had to be surrendered. If I really wanted to come home, it's 1 minute to midnight, I will receive my welcome home. But I have to let go of what I thought I knew. And I had to stop projecting on everyone about judgment and opinions that were actually all just in my own mind. There was nothing outside. There was nothing outside happening at all. But the loyalty, the devotion, the wanting to receive my welcome home became stronger and stronger and stronger as my courage of truth was accepted deeper and deeper and deeper. It's not a courage of battle. It's a courage to accept the truth and the courage to let go of the lies that I had made up in the past and to stop being a fake. The fake was not evil. The fake was not ugly. The fake was nothing. It was just nothing. It was smoke and mirrors. Just like every fake, made-up identity was nothing. But the acceptance that it was nothing was the shattering, if you want to call it that, the melting of a false life, a false identity. But in that melting was the freedom, was the bird that could fly, was the opening of the cage from the imprisonment, the self-imposed imprisonment of separation. There was no truth in those lies. I wanted to remember the truth. Was I willing to accept from the prophets, from the masters, from the Spirit, that I was the light of God? Not an I in a separate self, but the divine light of God as the I am. And was I willing to step into that light and accept that that light was real, that that light was the authenticity of God, and that I would breathe deeply and as fully as possible, and that when the fear would say, that's enough, I would say, no, it isn't enough. God has asked me for more. And I would go deeper. And I would go, yes, more violently, more fully, yes, until I was screaming yes. Nobody else could hear that screaming, but I could. Filling the universe with the yes, so that it couldn't be doubted of what I truly wanted. I wanted to remember. I had been given the means. The road was made for me. The road was shown. It was clear. I could keep putzing around and going off on detours out of fear, out of putting the brakes on, or I could continue to take those deep leaps. Every time I would feel the resistance, what do I want? Really, what do I want? Do I want to keep this game playing of resistance, or do I want to say, no more? I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not buying it. I am saying yes. And I will be the fool for love. I will be the light of God, because that is what is true. I will accept my welcome home, because that's all that there is. That's the only purpose. The willingness to lie around and get zonked out. Heaven forbid everyone might become happy doing basically nothing except refusing the lie, refusing the fake self anymore. Willing not to condemn for that fake self, but willing to be honest. This is a fake self. I'm here to get zonked out. I'm here to become happy doing basically nothing. that there is nothing to do, nothing to prove. Where is all this proving coming from? Where is all this knowing coming from? Means nothing, it is nothing, it serves nothing, except that it is the cause of pain and suffering by believing in something that doesn't exist. Heaven forbid everyone might become happy doing basically nothing except to lie around and get zonked out on the wonder of our being. But how can you get zonked out on the wonder of your being when your mind keeps being filled with babble? And all of this perception of knowing that is all about fear and habit that's been developed to try to stay safe and protect. Against what? Against the imaginary evil that has no truth, no reality at all. In the beauty of love, in the beauty of love, all gifts I offer my beloveds belong to me. What are you offering? Are you offering stories? Are you offering gossip? Are you offering ideas that you think you know? What are you offering? All gifts I offer my beloveds belong to me. When I offer love, when I offer peace and harmony, and not knowing, which is a great, great gift, it affirms within me that I don't know anything. And thank God. Because what I thought I knew was pain and suffering. All gifts I offer to beloveds, I offer to myself. Every day 1,000 treasures come to me with every passing moment. Are you available for them? Every day 1,000 treasures come to you with every passing moment. You have to be present to win. Just like a raffle, you have to be present to win. You have to be present to be able to recognize the preciousness, the gifts, the treasures of love that are being offered to you all day long. All of the knowing, all of the thoughts, all of the being in the mental concepts, constantly mental, keep you from living, keep you from life, keep you from oneness. And it's that easy. Let it go. And how do you let it go? Because just by recognizing, I don't know what this doesn't mean anything. I'm making something up. What is all this information for? What am I holding on to? What do I think I know about tomorrow? Only remembering that pain, suffering is always anticipated and remembered. It is never here now. It is always anticipated and remembered. It is always remembered from the past and then anticipated of how it's going to be. And then, of course, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of I'm repeating the past because I am in the belief that I know and that I am anticipating that it will be like the past. I'm already in defense. I'm already protected and defended. I believed in scarcity in the past. I believe and anticipate scarcity now. I believed in hardship of the past. I anticipate hardship now. That is the mind's games that are going on in knowing. That's how knowing works. by sabotaging the future and not allowing you to be present in love here and now. 1,000 treasures come in every day. 1,000 in every moment. Am I available, or am I busy with my mind? Knowing, assessing, instead of let me commune with the divine right here, right now, in this stillness, in love, in light. Let me breathe and drop into my heart and rest in my heart with an open heart, available for the thousands of treasures that appear. To see with my heart, and to lie around and get zonked on the wonder of our being. Are you zonked on the wonder of your being? To be zonked on the wonder of your being is to be present. To accept the wonder of your being, not your knowing, not a concept, but opening to the divine and letting the divine show the way. Letting the spirit of love lead. Leading. Get on the train. The train is pulling in. Are you going to get on the train, or are you going to wave at the train as it leaves the station and you're going to say, no, I'm too busy. I've got distractions and projects that I have to pay attention to. Let God, the universe, be in charge. Let God, the universe, and the power of creation move everything in its perfect harmony. Join. Get in the boat. Let it take you. Let it take you. When I was in healing, divine teachings would come, and awarenesses would come and explode out of the belief of limitation. And I was called to write, not very many down, but a few. And those awarenesses were, with writing them, were grounded into love. And the willingness, the devotion to live them, or else why write them? They weren't being written for somebody else. They weren't being written for posterity. They weren't being written for any purpose other than to ground them into the truth of living the truth. So one of them was showing me that gathering information, even spiritual information, so that I would think that I knew something better. Always looking for the more. So you think you know something better. So the mind knows, believes in its journey, believes that it's in charge, believes that you're halfway there or 3/4 there, or how far am I, and wanting to judge and wanting to know and wanting to control. And to keep comparing. All comparisons. I like it, I don't like it, I have opinions, this is good, this is pretty, this is smart, this is better, this is less, this is a good cause. All of it completely fabricated, having no meaning. And the willingness to accept that it absolutely has no meaning. But for it to mean nothing is to embrace that it means nothing. That it absolutely means nothing to like or dislike something. All it is limitation. And it's the fear that to listen to the exquisite guidance of love that will never leave you without what is most helpful for your remembering. Moment to moment, 1,000 treasures will reveal themselves to you if you're available. Is it difficult to be available? No. It's just no longer being enthralled with your own mind and your own likes and dislikes and your own opinions, your own decisions, and how you came to those decisions. There is nothing more insane than telling the story of how you came to a decision. What did you use to find this reasoning? What evidence did you take, and how did you look at it and weigh it, and how did you come up with the decision? No, you came up with the decision because you're insane. That's all. That's all. The decision came from insanity. You could just cut through it and just say, look at all these decisions I make up out of this insanity. Isn't it brilliant? It's insane. It means absolutely nothing. Love, God, the universe is the sanity. It's the truth. It's the light. Let go and join in that sanity. Join in the peace and the harmony by choice. By choice. I can choose harmony and peace by letting go of what I think I know. I can recognize and embrace harmony. I can accept peace. I can open my heart because I choose to. Show me the way. I don't know how to open my heart. Show me the way. But how can you be shown the way if you're intent on knowing everything for yourself? There's no room for the spirit of love to intervene. And that's what healing is. It's an intervention. It's when you say, okay, and the Holy Spirit can enter and show you the way, which the Holy Spirit will always accommodate, because it's just the Holy Spirit's waiting for your invitation. But your invitation is dependent on your letting go of what you think you know. You can't hold on to what you think you know and invite that divine wisdom. They don't have any relationship at all. To invite truth is to let go of illusions. And first you have to recognize, these thoughts, these ideas, what I think I know, my reactions, my fears, all of that are made up. That's the first acceptance. It's just made up. It's not true. There is no pain and suffering in God. So there is no pain and suffering in you. And you cannot be hurt. The truth of you cannot be hurt. It's not possible. The only threat is from your own mind. That's all. Easy peasy. Except I can see peace instead of this.